Alright guys, so today we're checking out the brand new NeoBuds S. Now this is a brand new pair of earbuds from the company Edifier, and when I say new, I mean really new. They're actually not available worldwide, or at least in the US, until July 31st, but they are available in the UK and some other places, but I'll have a link in the description for where you can check these out. Now the NeoBuds S is essentially like the Edifier NeoBuds Pro, which in my opinion is still one of the best true wireless earbuds that you can buy. But the NeoBuds S now incorporate Snapdragon audio. There is a few differences between these and the NeoBuds Pro, which we'll talk about. The NeoBuds S come in at $129, so it basically mirrors the price tag of the NeoBuds Pro. Now this pair has multiple levels of active noise canceling. It does have a standard mode that you can just use with no noise canceling at all. And then there's basically a low noise canceling option and a high noise canceling option. And there's also a wind reduction mode as well. So if you're gonna use these outdoors, riding a bike, or running and things like that, that wind reduction will help cut that out. But I do want to say this about the noise canceling. I don't really feel like the low noise canceling level is doing a whole lot, but the high mode is blocking out a fair amount of noise. I mean, it does a really good job against the lower tones like engine noises and AC units and things like that. And it actually does a very good job of blocking out people talking. So most noise canceling earbuds still tend to let a lot of that leak in, and these do a really good job of trying to block that out. Now this still isn't on the same level as Sony or Bose, but I was very impressed with the noise canceling that these had. And another thing that I was impressed with on these was the ambient mode. Now this pair has 6 microphones total. Now I don't really know how many are being used during the ambient mode, but this is easily one of those pairs that the environment sounded pretty natural, and it was very easy to carry on a conversation without actually taking the earbuds out. Now another feature that this pair has that I've only tested on one other pair of earbuds is it has the Snapdragon sound, and mix that with the fact that this has aptX adaptive basically means that the Bluetooth connection is extremely solid. I never had any kind of dropout issues. I didn't have any kind of compression when it came to the audio. And having that aptX adaptive just kind of always meant I had the best Bluetooth signal with my audio that I could have. And then another thing is this pair also meets high-res audio standards, which means it has up to 24-bit playback. Now one thing that's different between these and the NeoBuds Pro, other than the fact that this pair has aptX adaptive, is this pair does not have LDAC support, which the NeoBuds Pro does have. So there are some differences when it comes to some of the technology in these. But this pair also uses the same 10mm composite driver mixed with Knowles balanced armature drivers, and it's also using a digital crossover technology, which is their way of saying that it's pulling out the most that it can when it comes to the low end, and also pull out a lot of details in the mids and the treble without having that just muddy mess that comes out a lot of other earbuds. But we'll talk about that once we get into the sound. Now another thing is this does work with Edifier's Connect app, and this allows you to keep your earbuds updated. There are a couple of EQ options, but it also gives you the ability to EQ these the way that you want them to. There's also a low latency gaming mode, so if you're looking for a pair to use for movies, videos, and gaming, you would switch it over into this mode and it will cut down any kind of lag. And I didn't have any kind of lag while testing these. And then also within the app, you have the ability to change the light bar option that's on the front of the case. Now this may not seem like a big deal, and really it's not, but it's nice to have the ability to customize this. So if you want it to be blue or yellow or green or anything like that, you just simply switch that on within the app. And then the only other thing is the app does allow you to switch around your controls, and we'll get into this a little bit more once we talk about the controls. Now one thing that I did like, and this isn't something that I've really seen with some other earbuds, I'm sure there are a couple that do this, but once you open up the app, you don't actually have to open up the app every time to be able to switch around a lot of these things. It actually, within my Android phone, gives me the ability to pull down kind of like a notification, and you have a lot of functions that you can just simply tap on and switch between right there from the notification bars. Now, as far as using these outdoors, they do come with an IP54 rating, so it means on top of these having a decent amount of water protection, there's also dust protection as well. So this is a huge plus for people that look to use their earbuds at the beach or on a job site where there may be dust and dirt and things like that flying around. It's just kind of peace of mind and gives you a little bit less that you have to worry about when it comes to your earbuds. Now, as far as what they've included inside the box, they do include a little carrying pouch for your carrying case. Now again, this is a thing that I don't normally use with my earbuds, but I guess it's nice that it's included. It does come with 7 sets of silicone ear tips, and they're actually color matched on the bottom. It just makes it easy to know which one you have to put on each earbud. And then as far as the charging cable, it comes with a USB-C cable, and you are going to have to use this cable because unfortunately the NeoBuds S does not have a Qi wireless charging case. But speaking of the charging, battery life is not really going to grab you right away. I think it's going to be fine for most people because if you use these with the noise canceling turned off, you can actually get 6 hours on the earbuds and about 25 hours using the case. Or if you decide to use these with the noise canceling on, that drops it down to 5.5 hours on the earbuds and about 21 hours using the case. But this pair does have a fast charge option, although it's not one of the best that I've seen, where a 10-minute charge will get you about an hour and a half worth of use. Now moving over to looking at the case and the earbuds themselves, from a design standpoint, this is nothing new. We've seen this with other Edifier earbuds. We've seen it actually with some other companies. It's a very smooth, almost slippery matte black finish that these have. On the back, you can see the USB-C input. And then around on the front, it has that notification bar light that we talked about earlier. And this is what allows you to gauge how much battery life is left on the case. But when you pop open the lid, you can see that there is a pairing button located between both earbuds. And speaking of the earbuds, again, this is a design that we have seen before where it has kind of like this stealthy straight edge look to it. It does have a stem style design, but it's not one of those very long, obnoxious stems. It's just a little wider than most. And this is where your touch controls are located. But this is where I wish they would have done things differently. They only give you double tap and triple tap functions. So I did go within the app and have it where I can skip my tracks forward and go backwards and turn my volume up and down. But I did lose the ability to play and pause because this pair does not have smart sensors. So, you know, if you take them out of your ears, it's just going to continue to play music. And I also gave up my ability to switch it between the noise canceling modes and the transparency mode. So if they would just add a single tap function, which they can do since there's an app, they can just add it within an update. That would be my play and pause, and I'd have my track control and volume control, and then I would be completely happy. Now for you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, this is an area I think they did a very good job with. This pair does have 6 microphones total, and it's also using what they call aptX voice, which I don't know if that's like a high-res way of bringing in your voice during phone calls or whatever, but the microphones picked up my voice very well for phone calls, and it did a really good job of blocking out my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is a test using the NeoBuds S, and again, I think it does a very good job of picking up my voice. It does still have a digital sound to it, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound, because in my opinion, this is like the huge selling point on these earbuds. I mean, this is one of the best that I've heard out there, and they are really pushing that composite driver to give you a really boomy bass, but they're also pushing the Knowles Balance armature drivers to pull out a lot of bright, airy details. I mean, this is a very airy sounding earbud, so it has lots of space. It doesn't have that congested, muddy sound that a lot of earbuds have. It does an excellent job with just pushing details in different directions and giving you that amount of space. I love the bass that this pair had when it came to pop or hip hop and even metal. I mean, it sounded great with the double bass of drums. Vocalists, no matter what genre I was listening to, just always stood out. And the treble has this sparkle to it. If you're listening listening to this at like max volume, you are gonna get a little bit of harshness, but I like that when I have earbuds or headphones that have this much bass. I mean, I think it just balances out very well. I will say, if you are somebody that's looking for like a flat sound signature or something that's like close to reference sound, this pair is not gonna be it. In fact, this is probably the furthest thing from it because it's just pulling out everything that it can and it's just pushing it up as much as it can. It is a very fun earbud to listen to. So my overall opinion is, yes, you are gonna give up some key features. I do feel like it is very limited when it comes to the controls, especially because this pair doesn't have the smart sensors. There's no Qi wireless charging. And I do feel like the design of these are somewhat dated because we've seen it on so many other earbuds. But the sound competes with some of the most expensive earbuds that I've tested. In fact, I would put these up against the Bowers & Wilkins or the Sony, the Bose, the Sennheisers, and all of those brands, and I think this pair definitely holds its own, especially if you're not looking for that flat sound. So it is just a very fun sounding earbud that just definitely pushes through when it comes to audio quality, which in my opinion is the most important thing, at least for me, when I'm looking at a pair of earbuds. So I can definitely recommend the Edifier NeoBuds S with no hesitation. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new Edifier NeoBuds S. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.